Hello ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome back to our channel. Welcome to Fagiola Chuma 254. On this platform, as usual, we discuss a plethora of issues. We talk about our economy, we talk about our social, our physical welfare, our physical health, but most of the time we're going to be talking about our politics because, these things are interrelated, they're intertwined, and the number one thing is our politics, and we're supposed to strive in every aspect. We are supposed to do everything to make sure that our politics is positive, to make sure that our politics is, the kind of politics that that rewards hard work, the kind of politics that fights for accountability, for transparency. So it's the third day of 2026. I remember yesterday on 2nd, 2026, we were talking about it. It was a day we spoke about people who were supposed to be rewarded. And specifically, we were talking about Nganga Muigai and his initiative to introduce the Constitution into the Kenyan curriculum so that, everybody gets to know what the Constitution says, what our laws say from a young age. So Nganga Muigai is fighting, is working on making sure that the Constitution is taught in schools, and he's not just giving it lip service. He's done so much so far. I think he's headed to Parliament. If not already there, he's headed to Parliament. He wants it discussed in Parliament so that funds can be allocated for it to make sure that it succeeds. And like I said yesterday, Nganga Muigai, kudos. We're so proud of you. And for the people, let's make every contribution that we can make on this issue. Not just financial contribution. Sometimes when we talk about this stuff like this, Nganga Muigai is fighting for it, and then somebody else talks about it, and another person talks about it, it's going to gain momentum and the seriousness that it deserves. Now, today, 3rd of 2026, January, I want us to talk about something else, but related with related to the same stuff we spoke about yesterday, the clamor to introduce teaching of the Constitution in our schools. This has to do with amending the law. There is amending the law, and there is just the introduction of something into our laws. Most of the times world over, constitutions are normally amended, or something is always done to the Constitution during crisis times, during wars. Like our Constitution 2020, the Constitution 2010 came as a result of what happened in 2007. It's not like we were not talking about devolution. It's not like we were not talking about bringing power down to the people back before 2007. We were doing this stuff from early 90s, and then it came to be spearheaded properly by people like Yash Palgai, like people like Odhiambo Mbai, who got assassinated, like people like the late Raila Amolo Odinga. But for it to be achieved, we had a crisis, and there was that we were faced with a situation whereby if we did not do something about our laws, there were chances that we were going to have a repeat of what happened in 2007. So people sat down, and there was give and take. Whatever we have in our Constitution right now is not what Raila Amolo Odinga and Yash Palgai and the group intended for us to get. That's not what they wanted. They never wanted to have 47 counties. Last I heard of it, it was supposed to be 14 counties. I'm not quite sure, but it was supposed to be 14 counties. We were supposed to have an executive prime minister. There was supposed to be, we were supposed to go purely parliamentary. Yeah, purely parliamentary. But due to the fact that in the process of, in politics, not just in the process, politics is about give and take. Politics is about sometimes, stepping down and letting somebody else step on your back, knowing very well that next time it's them who are going to step down and you step on their backs. So in the Constitution 2010, there's stuff that Raila and the group had to cede ground on. They had to cede ground on so that Mwai Kibaki and his group could agree, so that they met in the middle and we got a constitution. The same thing is still going to happen. The same thing is going to happen. Whatever Nganga Muigai is doing is going to face challenges. It's going to face resistance. The resistance that we're going to fight head on, and the resistance that are going to need us to, think. We're going to have to think. There are times when we will have to give, and there are times when we'll have to take. Now, in this process of introduction of the Constitution into our curriculum, that is what we want. Question is, what are we willing to give in return for it? And who is going to be asking for something so that this happens? We've got two groups. We have two groups. We have the politicians. They will want something from this process. And secondly, we have the people who are clamoring for the introduction of the Constitution into our curriculum. We are at a point where, for us to get something, we can either decide to get whatever we want to get in a violent way, which Nganga Muigai says he's not for violence. Then we can also decide to get whatever we want from the politicians using our brains. And how are we going to use our brains? We give and take. I know when I'm talking about give and take, nobody understands what not so many people understand. Where are we going to have to give? What are we going to be given back, and blah blah blah. The last 1 month, not even the last 1 month, it's more than the last 1 month. Since 23, we had Gerard Gay, the Nandi senator, talking about extension of term limit to 7 years. And he had people who were championing for the same thing. And then recently, around a month ago, you also had somebody like Musalia Mudavadi talking about the need for us to amend the Constitution so that some of the offices that we have are anchored in the Constitution, like the Prime Minister's office. So those are the things that we're going to have to give and take. I mean, we want the Constitution to be amended. We have to think, we want we want the Constitution to be introduced in schools. It has to be anchored in law. The politicians will come with what they want. And for them, it's about power. And that's natural. So, the question is, say the politicians come today and we've already said what we want. we want the constitution to be introduced in schools. And then the politicians come and they tell us that, yeah, you can get whatever you want. I mean, you want the constitution to be, teaching of the constitution to be introduced in schools. Okay, you're going to get that from, say, next year. For us to give you that, we want to amend the constitution so that we have the office of the Prime Minister anchored in the constitution. We want to amend the constitution so that we have 2 deputy presidents. We want to amend, are we going to give in? Because another person will come with, Cherargei will come with his. It's about power. Whatever Mudavadi is talking about, amending the constitution to anchor the the premiership in the constitution, it's about power. Extension of term limits is about power. And this is something that they've been talking about. Now, we want something. What are we going to be willing to give? Huh? What are we going to be willing to give out to get what we want? That's a question that we must think of, and we want when we're thinking of that question, tuweke tribe kando. When we're thinking of that question, tuweke 2027 kando, so that we make stuff. If we are making laws, let's not make laws to help us next year. We must make laws that are going to help us for posterity, for like 50 years, for 100 years. We must make laws that, if are placed in the hands of our enemies, especially stuff to do with power, we need to make laws that, if the same laws are placed in the hands of our enemies, we'll still be safe. And that's why I'm saying we're going to have to put aside tribe. We're going to have to put aside our parties. We're going to have to put aside emotions and think critically. Constitution ipelekwe shuleni, which is a very good thing, and it's going to help. Politician amekuja na tunataka premiership iwekwe kwa katiba, tunataka term limit iongezwe ifike 7 years, and we're like, okay, so premiership being put in the constitution, we're okay with that. Term limit being extended to 7 years, no, not happening, never happening. Do your 4 years. By the way, it's 4 years, not 5 years. Do your 4 years, first term, another 4 years, second term, you get your 8 years, pack your double troubles and chuck. Term limit kuongezwa, no. Premiership, we might think of it. And sasa nye tunafikiria hiyo mambo ya premiership, we also want chapter 6 to be strengthened. Somebody's going to say, oh, our constitution is perfect, things are not. It's not perfect. Things are supposed to be corrected. If we have people who are accused of, you remember the guy who was vying in Mbere? That guy was vying, and he had a case in court about, a corruption case in court about, oxygen, supply of oxygen to Kenyatta Hospital, and he was vying. He was cleared by IEBC. That alone shows you that the constitution has loopholes, and we have to do something about the loopholes, correct them, strengthen them. We've got stuff to do with public finance. Must be strengthened. Must be strengthened. Tunastahili to operate Kenya like chama. You know the chamas that we have in our neighborhoods. Especially for ladies, for women. They have chamas. Boda guys have chamas. You don't play around with their money. If you want, ukitaka, you want something bad to happen to you, cheza na pesa ya chama ya watu. How come other people are playing with our taxes? Taxes are monies that are collected from us. They are monies that are collected from us. They are monies that are borrowed from outside Kenya, or within our local markets, and we have to pay them. It's our sweat. How come somebody plays with our money like that? I mean, they steal, they misappropriate the monies, and when somebody says, oh, money has been lost here, or money has been misappropriated in a specific place, we start talking about our tribes, we start talking about our parties. We must treat Kenya and Kenyans' money like pesa ya chama. We guard it with jealousy. We ensure that there is transparency whenever stuff to do with monies is being dealt with. And that is why when we're in this process of amending, introducing the constitution in our schools by anchoring it in law, knowing very well that we're going to have a give and take situation. We have to think critically. We have to think critically and make sure that whatever we do, we just don't do it for next year, for 2027. We don't just do it for 2032. We do it. We make laws that whoever, no matter who is going to be in power, we will be safe. We will be safe. I mean, our rights are going to be protected. Our monies are going to be protected at all times. At all times. And so far in this, in this game that has to do with constitution amendment or introduction of some laws into our constitution, Nganga Muigai stands out with the with the need to introduce teaching of the constitution in schools. Musalia Mudavadi stands out with the wish. He wishes that we make an amendment to the constitution so that the premiership and other positions are anchored in law. Cherargei stands out, wanting the extension of the term limit. It behoves us. It's upon, everything is upon us to decide gani tutakubali na gani tutakataa. Na saa zenye unakataa kitu, usikatae ndio unipunish. Don't do that. Usikubali ndio punish somebody from, I don't know, whichever place. Kubali ama kataa kitu, knowing very well ya kwamba you might be in the same shoes that person is next time, and you need to be safe. So this is the third video, and we're going to be making more videos. And I told you yesterday that there are times I'm going to be doing some exercises. I want to keep fit. I want to, me and my family, me and my kids, me and my wife, we're going to be doing exercises, and I believe and hope that everybody else also wants the same thing. And when I'm doing it, or when we're doing it, tutakuwa tunaweka hapa hivi, we work together for posterity. Socially, physically, economically, and politically. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've said my part. Anybody who has an idea, anybody who feels like you can improve on what I've said, comment section inakuongojea kindly. And another thing, please, I'm really low on subscribers, and I would really appreciate it if you just take a minute of your time to subscribe to my channel, Fagiola Chuma 254, to like the videos so that we get to reach more people. I need your help. If I say something that is wrong, just correct me. Remember, we have to agree to disagree. We have to agree to disagree, have different opinions. Just because you have a different opinion from what I have, don't make it wrong. That doesn't make you wrong. It means we are striving to grow. And step by step, we'll do it. Until next time, have a nice day.